Hello, hello, and welcome to The Magic is in You. I am so grateful you're here for episode number 6. Oh my goodness gracious, I'm so excited. Welcome to The Magic is in You podcast, the podcast designed to empower growth-seeking women entrepreneurs to step in, own their magic, own their badassery, see and really truly shine their greatness, their light, their impact with the world so that they can cultivate a life, a business, and a relationship with themselves that lights them the fuck up and truly, authentically allowing themselves to shine in the process. My name is Kelsey Holmes, and I am a life and mindset coach on a mission to empower badass women entrepreneurs to truly own their magic, allow themselves to take messy action in building what they desire, what they want to cultivate in their life, cultivating a life that truly lights them up from the inside out. Because dear, the magic is already inside you. Everything you want to create in this life, the power to do so is already within inside you. You would not be gifted this dream if it was not, I promise you. We all are gifted our own individual dreams so that we can really truly contribute to this world, contribute to this life, to live a life on purpose, with purpose, and intentionally. So I'm super excited you're here today because I want to share something a little bit vulnerable that I'm going through right now in real time, that I've gone through in the past, and I'm hit a new layer, right? A new level, a new opportunity for self-growth, something that's feeling really freaking uncomfortable in myself, but I know is getting me to go in the direction that I want to grow. And that is this fear of visibility, this fear of judgment, truly underneath it all, fear of being seen that's coming up for me right now. So let me tell you a little story, a little background story. So a little over 3 weeks ago, Nate and I got an email from the local newspaper. Woohoo! Always fun. And they had seen our name, Creative Combinations Montana, which is our furniture fabrication and steel artwork business. You can check out this beautiful little plant holder here. If you're watching on YouTube, I designed this cute little lotus plant holder, bringing art and function together. Anyway, so the paper, the editor of this paper in the business section specifically, saw our name on an art show list, which we did like a week and a half ago, 2 weeks ago, something like that. Oh, time's a blur all of a sudden this summer. Anyway, we did an art show like a week and a half ago, and the editor for the paper saw our name on the list of the vendors that were going to be there. They checked us out and they're like, hey, this looks cool. So we got a call from one of the journalists at the paper wanting to do an interview just like about our business and like about our story, Nate and I's story of creating Creative Combinations Montana together, and like kind of our background and our history. You know, Nate's been welding for over a decade in high-end fabrication shops in like multi-million-dollar homes, doing crazy different, like, what are they called? Crazy vehicles, like communications vehicles. There we go. And all sorts of other stuff until we went out on our own in the fabrication land in 2020 as I closed my massage therapy practice. Before I opened my coaching practice, we started Creative Combinations Montana. And so we were kind of like a little bit in it right before the art show as we were like building inventory and just like prepping for this art show. But we're like, oh, this will be a great opportunity. It's like outside both of our comfort zones, but it'll be a great opportunity to kind of just share what we're doing and share what we're about. Working out of our garage, we use things like art shows or social media or different opportunities like this, whether it's a newspaper article or donating pieces to silent auctions for nonprofits in the area. We use these as marketing opportunities because we don't have a storefront right now, and we want to kind of keep it low key, right? Like, and have that kind of fun, like backyard shop vibe. That is like who we are. And so we decided to go along with the interview. And like I said, this was not quite 3 weeks ago. And we did the interview and it went like really well. It was like quick half-hour little coffee meeting, and we came home and we're like, okay, yeah, it'll be great. It'll be great. We just like allowed ourselves to sit in that energy of like kind of like almost like an adrenaline. Like this was the first time we had been interviewed for the paper together, and we allowed ourselves to be in that like, all right, that was fun. And then we immediately moved on to the art show. We had set up the next day and then 3 full days in the park for this beautiful art show in Whitefish, Montana, and kind of got a couple pictures from the paper person and just kind of like forgot about it. And we were right on to the next thing. After the art show, we were working on some client projects and diving back into coaching land and just right kind of on to the next thing. And so the article came out this Sunday, like 2.5 weeks after our initial interview. And I honestly kind of forgotten about it. Like, we did the interview and a couple Sundays passed. She said it was going to be like in a Sunday business edition of the paper. And a couple Sundays passed and I just kind of forgot about it. And we we're going and doing things and growing. I launched the podcast. We've had a bunch of awesome Airbnb and HipCamp guests at Creative Hideouts. We've done projects with Creative Combinations Montana. I've gotten to work with other badass women entrepreneurs and help them see their light, their magic, their growth inside themselves. So we've been doing all of these fun things along with celebrating friends' loves for a wedding and having some friends in town for a little bit. We've been just doing all of the fun summer Montana things. And so the paper was published this weekend in the local newspaper. So it's a valley-wide newspaper. I have no idea how many subscriptions there are. It's a valley of 80,000 people, just to give you an idea. And then it's the main local newspaper. And right on the front page of the local newspaper is the little top little news blurb of what's inside kind of thing. And it's our Snow Ghost wall art piece. This is in Creative Combinations, or Creative Hideouts, our little Airbnb rental cabin, the garage that we converted over the last 2 years into a stunning, beautiful Airbnb / showroom space. So we put this epic, huge 8-foot wide steel wall art piece above the bed as the headboard in Inspiration Cabin at Creative Hideouts, which is of essentially, if you don't know what Snow Ghost is, look it up, Google Snow Ghost Whitefish, Montana, and you will see so many awesome pictures, or just check out my page. You'll definitely see some snow ghosts on my page. Anyway, so it's this gorgeous ski lift, chairlift, and snow ghosts, and there's a skier and a snowboarder on the lift, Nate and me. I'm a skier, Nate's a snowboarder, and it's right on the front page, and it's check page whatever in the business section. And we flip it to the business section and there is a 2/3 page article and pictures of Nate and I and our business, Creative Combinations Montana, where art meets function, and this beautiful write-up. And it was just oh my gosh, this is so exciting. And we got that adrenaline rush when we found out it was published, because we all of a sudden were getting text messages. And one of our old clients, he is just the sweetest gentleman. He's 85 years old and he is a former entrepreneur. He had been in a fabrication business back in the Midwest and grown his fabrication business like crazy. And he had this epic project for us a couple years ago when we first got our CNC plasma table, the big table machinery that Nate and I have that does all of the steel art that we do and all of this other stuff. And he hired us for a wood routering project, and we had never used the wood router. And we told him this straight up, we're well, we've not used this, but we'll take it on, we'll try it out, see what we can do for you. And he was just so awesome. He just shared stories about back in his bootstrapping days, as he called it, when Nate and I were in the thick of it, doing our very first art show. We were learning the CNC plasma cutter. We were doing all of this crazy work in Creative Combinations Montana at the same time as doing a renovation on our 2-car garage. At that point, it was just where was it at? Oh, the walls were stripped. There was insulation everywhere. It was just absolute chaos. We were working on getting the utilities in there, getting the plumbing lines in there, fucking digging out. I'm so glad we didn't do that. But we had a buddy dig out the lean-to, what was a dirt lean-to, so that we could then pour concrete in there to have a full utility room. And anyway, we were in the thick of it doing this garage renovation when we were working with our client, Steve. And he called us. He called Nate at 7:30 on Sunday morning. He's up and at him, drinking his coffee, getting to the business page, getting to the newspaper, all of the things. He was such a delight, so grateful. And just the words of advice and wisdom that he had for Nate and I as the beginning of our crazy entrepreneurial journey. And he told us that we are in the bootstrapping days and that it's worth it. Keep going, keep growing. Don't give up on yourselves. You've got this. And allowing us to and empowering us to say no when the time was that we needed to say no, when we had to move on from the project. He was wanting to develop this whole this whole game board, like what did he call it, heirloom game board set, and it just ended up being like way more than what Nate and I were ready to take on. And he empowered us and taught us the value of saying no as an entrepreneur and allowing yourself to stay true to yourself. And we just had so much fun with this project because he was so much fun. He was so passionate. He was so excited to like be working with us, like new in business, husband and wife team working together. Anyway, so it was an incredible experience working with him. And he called Nate at like, before we were awake on Sunday morning and just was like, I'm so proud of you. I'm so pleased. Like, this is just like such great news to see this and so excited about it. And it was just like one of those like, oh my gosh. Okay, it was published. Like, Steve saw it. That's so exciting. Oh my gosh, this is awesome. Like, and then we got a few other text messages from some family and family friends, which was super fun, and some other friends. And then all of a sudden, like Nate and I were like on this like high, buzzing around, like doing a couple things on social media. And I was like, oh shit, yeah, I need to tweak the website just a little bit here and there just to make it like up to date with a couple of different event things. And we like were on this high going. And then by mid-afternoon on Sunday, this like sinking weight felt like it was closing in. It was like, oh shit, all of these people are seeing this is so great. And then it was like, oh shit, all of these people are seeing, like who else is seeing this? Like, what kind of judgment are they gonna think of me? Like, what's so-and-so gonna think? What's this person gonna think? What's that person gonna think? And all of a sudden I could feel myself spiraling down this little shithole of insecurities and I don't feel quite good enough. Like, oh gosh, what's going on? And I allowed myself to be in it for a minute. I allowed myself to feel it. And I'm sharing this because like, this is a process that used to put me in a hole for weeks, months, even years on end with different things, like this fear of being seen, this fear of judgment. And as I'm moving through this and out of it within like a day, I'm feeling super proud and grateful of myself for the work that I have done to build my mindset, to build my ability to feel my fucking feelings. As a former bottle everything up, shove it down until it explodes out kind of person, I am so grateful to know that I can feel my feelings and be safe feeling my feelings without just like totally numbing out or without just shoving them down, both like physically, literally, and also emotionally shoving them down to where they get trapped in my hips and lock up my low back and like get all gnarly and knotted in the body. Instead, I've been allowing myself to feel myself where I'm at. Notice the pattern that's come up. Notice that this is a pattern of when things are going and growing and getting exciting, like launching the podcast, being seen in the Interlake by a bunch of different people in our local newspaper, being on the front page of the fucking business section. Nate was joking. He's like, yeah, straight up from the police reports to the business section. Not that it was anything bad, just like a couple like minor possession kind of things for each of us. Anyway, long story short, it has been a journey the last like 24, 48 hours as I've been moving through this fear of visibility, this fear of judgment, and allowing myself to feel it, and then allowing myself to come back to that safety within myself, allowing myself to come back to the love and acceptance within myself, because the fear of judgment, yeah, fucking sucks from other people, but it's made so much worse when we are the ones judging ourselves. And then when other people judge us for the same thing we judge ourselves for, it hurts that much more. I really enjoyed my little yogi tea tag that I got before I hopped on this call with some lemon ginger tea. Tea season's around the corner. Anyway, my tea tag says, we all want to be understood and to be acknowledged and to be loved. And that is so true, right? We all want to be understood, acknowledged, and loved, but we can't control what those outside of us think, but we do get to control how we think and feel about ourselves. And so really at the root of it, this fear of judgment that I was going into, this spiral that I was going into, was really the feelings of inadequacy within myself that I was feeling about myself. And so when I recognize that it's not really the fear of judgment, but it's this internal judgment that I am portraying on myself, not understanding myself, not acknowledging myself, not loving myself, when I was able to come back to that place of self-acknowledgement, of understanding myself, where I was at, meeting myself where I was at, acknowledging myself where I was at, loving myself where I was at, showing compassion to myself for where I was at, and allowing myself to understand and recognize that this fear of judgment isn't just me, it isn't just the things that have happened in the past, this and that, but it's also just this innate desire for us subconsciously to belong. Because back in the caveman days, we had to be a part of the herd. We had to be part of the group. Otherwise, it literally meant we died. If we were alone, that equaled death back in the day. And so our reptilian brain, this primal part of our brain, is still with us today. And we get to remind ourselves with our greater brain, our prefrontal cortex, that even when we are maybe dismissed by people that are no longer aligned with us energetically or for this or that reason, that it doesn't mean that we're not okay. It doesn't mean that we're not safe. It doesn't mean that we still can't love ourselves. It doesn't mean that we still can't trust ourselves, be with ourselves, acknowledge ourselves, understand ourselves. And so I'm sharing this all today because I kind of wanted to walk you through my process of real time moving through this limiting belief, this big fear that I'm going to be rejected for showing up authentically as myself, which is all of these things that I'm doing and being and like experiencing and growing into as I've cultivated my life on purpose, designed my life on purpose to have this beautiful epic property in Northwest Montana where we can also cultivate income and also cultivate inspiration for travelers, adventurers, people who are seeking out adventure in this life, in this world, in this beautiful corner of Montana that I'm so grateful to call home. And also being able to share with those people some of the work that we're doing, inspire them, to show them that it's possible. 2 kids from the fucking police reports who both barely graduated high school, if we can fucking do this, make front page of the fucking business section, oh my dear goodness gracious, if we can do this, you can do this. If we can cultivate this property, this abundance, these businesses, this impact, not just in our life, but in the lives of those in our community, in the lives of those in our circles, in the lives of our clients, both in Creative Combinations Montana, in Elevate You, my coaching business, and also Creative Hideouts, our little rental business that we have going on the property with Inspiration Cabin, the Airbnb, and the 2 camp pads, Bowman and Kintla. If we can do this, anybody can fucking do this. Like I said, as 2 kids who never believed that they could do something like this, like here we are. We're living, breathing proof that it is fucking possible. All you have to do is believe it, desire it, want it, be willing to take uncomfortable action after uncomfortable action, share, show the fuck up, and don't beat yourself up when you get into that like little self-sabotage pattern. Don't beat yourself up when you notice old limiting beliefs or old fears coming up. Allow yourself to meet yourself where you're at. Feel it, feel the feelings, and then allow yourself to grow from there, right? We can say we can go from there, but allow yourself to truly grow from there, because when we're actually growing, think about it like a tree. When a tree is growing, it's literally growing vertically. Well, most of them, right? Most trees grow vertically. And when you think about a tree growing, each time it grows a little bit more. If you imagine like yourself at the very tippy top of the tree, each time it grows, you get a different perspective of the land around you. You get a little wider view of the land around you. You get a little bit more understanding of the land around you because you are growing. You literally have a different like perspective, range of view as you go up, right? And so allow yourself to grow from here, right? Because you can go all over the place, right? But it doesn't necessarily mean you're growing in the direction that you want to go. Be intentional about your growth. Just like I'm being intentional about moving through this fear that's come up in the last few days of being seen. I'm intentionally allowing myself to feel it, grow through it so that I can continue to cultivate impact, so that I can continue to grow, so that I can continue to expand our businesses, our impact, our abundance, so that I can continue to expand growth, opportunity, and bliss in this life. Because this life is too short to live it any other way. For so long, I allowed myself to stay in this little self-made box where I taped the lid shut and just stayed in my box and tried to fit in this box that I thought I was supposed to be, so that people would like me, so that I would be accepted, so that yada, 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 right? And in the last few years, I've realized that people are gonna judge me anyway. It doesn't even matter if I stay in this tiny little fucking box that I've created myself, or if I bust the fuck out and do exactly as I want. People are gonna judge me either way. So I get to let them. I get to let them have their opinions about me. And I get to come home and decide whether that's true or not. Because really, as long as I feel good in myself, as long as I can stay tuned and tapped and turned on to my magic, the other outside opinions, I can decide whether it's valid feedback and something that I want to look at and explore and grow from for myself, or if it's something that I've moved through and I don't have to listen to it, knowing that they can have their opinion and I can still have my own and be safe in myself, still knowing myself, loving myself, and trusting myself. I hope this was helpful. Let me know if this was helpful, because it feels vulnerable. I can't even say it. It feels really vulnerable sharing things that I'm growing through in real time on this podcast that's being seen. And I'm so grateful that it's being seen. Oh my gosh, so grateful. I'm so grateful that I've already gotten feedback that women are feeling empowered by it. Not just women, men too. And I'm so grateful that I've already aligned with my first interview. I'm so excited to share her with you. It's going to be so good. We have not recorded it yet, but it's going to be so much fun. It's going to be so good. And aligning with these interviews, I'm so excited moving forward for doing interviews with badass women who are owning their magic and also owning it messy, right? It's not a perfect, like I've said before, check off the box, I've done the thing. I always own my magic. I'm always confident. I'm always loving myself. It's a constant growth and evolution, right? It's constantly growing, moving through the layers, allowing ourselves to continue to elevate over and over and over again. And I'm excited for these interviews because it's not just me, it's everybody, right? The magic sauce, if you will, is within every single one of us. And I'm excited to share so many other badass women entrepreneurs who have tuned in, tapped and turned on their magic so that you can see that it's possible for you too. Because for a long time, I didn't think that this kind of life, let alone the way I think and feel and talk to myself and treat myself, would be possible. I mean, the property, the businesses, cultivation, all of this is so incredible, and I'm so immensely grateful for it. But something that I'm most grateful for and most proud of myself for is the relationship that I've truly cultivated with myself, where I can say I love myself. I can say that I trust myself, that I know myself, that I know that I'm not perfect, that I allow myself to show up messy and take imperfect action, because that's just who I am. I'm not a perfectly clean person. I'm not the perfectly curated person. I don't have my hair done perfectly every time, every day, or anything like that. And being able to share this, show up authentically as myself, vulnerably as myself, is helping me prove to myself that I am still safe stepping outside of my comfort zone and being authentic and being me and getting out of that box that I had put myself in for so long, and just allowing myself to really lean into that. If you're not doing this yet, let this be your permission to start with curiosity. Allow yourself to just be yourself a little bit more. And if you get some feedback, right? Some unsolicited feedback, or judgment would be another word for it. I like to call it feedback because it doesn't feel quite so harsh. But if you get some unsolicited feedback on you being you, you get to decide what that means. Like, it doesn't matter whatever the fuck the other person said, but you get to decide what it means about you. It doesn't matter, like I said, what that other person said. It's the way you think about what the other person said. It's the way you feel about what the other person said that matters. And if it feels triggery, twingy, kind of hot, maybe look at that a little bit more within yourself. Allow yourself to explore it with curiosity. Allow yourself to feel the feelings. And then allow yourself to decide if you want to shift it or not. Allow yourself to decide whether if this is something you want to keep, you want to work on, you want to drop at the door and like boot the fuck out, like little drop kick action. You get to decide, because this is your life. Live it on purpose, with intention, with purpose for yourself. And if you want help with this, I am currently offering one-on-one single coaching calls right now, just at the beginning of this podcast launch for the next couple of weeks. So if you are interested in an intensive call to break through your limiting fear or belief, allow yourself to embody safety, love, compassion, and trust, click the link below to schedule your call so that we can get you growing in the direction to where you want to go. And in love, light, and so much gratitude. If you found value in this, please shoot me a DM on Instagram or Facebook. Let me know you're listening. I am so appreciative to everybody who's let me know that they're listening, that they are finding value in this. And let me know if you have any feedback for me, because I am still growing and I do want to get better. And I will get a mic soon. And I will get a better camera eventually. And I will also get better at these podcasts. I'll get better at interviews. I'm allowing myself to start messy, because how else are you supposed to learn? How else are you supposed to grow unless you just start? So meet yourself where you're at. Start messy. Allow yourself to grow. And remember, the magic is in you, dear. In love, light, and so much gratitude. Peace.